Hey, good morning. Good morning, my friends. Come on, friend. All right. Let's see. Let me go ahead and get this situated. And good morning to the guitar. Good morning, guitar, and good morning, metronome. We have the metronome running at 80 beats per minute this morning, and that's going to go ahead and solve all of our rhythmic problems for us. I wanted to start also by thanking you for joining me here in the weekday mornings for the morning ritual for guitar growth. And I think I saw Kevin just jump on board, and I wanted to thank Kevin for being here. Good morning, Snowman. Not yet. It's coming. Allegedly, it's coming though. Good morning, folks. Zumanji, good morning, Mark. Monday. It does feel good. Nice to start the newsletter. Hey, thanks, Kevin, for reading it and commenting on it. I thought that would be a good. I've been looking for a way to sort of like deepen our relationships as we move along, and I thought a little bit about. For those of you who got episode number 1, I thought it would be a really good idea to introduce why I wanted to name, it's kind of a far out name, but we all kind of use our fingers to sort of like run neck, right, with our fingertips. And Cousin Pete was he was an A-lister, he's one of those A-list guitar players. He was always getting a call for the gig, and he'd roll in with his little boogie amps and then his Chandler tube pedals, because that's what David Gilmour used, right? Stereo delay, and he'd stereo delay out into the 2 amps. And he had a one-of-a-kind presence. So one day I see him walking down the hill, and we're traveling along, and I stopped and said, hello. I don't think he had a license at the time. I don't know, maybe he did. I think he liked walking, maybe. I remember pulling over and saying hi, see if he wanted a lift somewhere. And he said, no, I'm enjoying this beautiful sunny day, which he was pretty good at. And he saw me driving the car, my little Saab 900, my 92 900S, the black one, and he said, do you have insurance for your fingers? And he was always thinking like that. He was always thinking in terms of guitar forward mentality. He had a guitar forward mindset. So we'd play and we'd jam. He worked with me for a little while at a couple shops, and he'd always say, let's run some neck, and so that's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to use that opportunity to set up the Neck Runners Dispatch. So if you're not on the Neck Runners Dispatch yet, you can, there's going to be an update on the website coming, because it's kind of a little bit sort of, troublesome, we'll say. But and I shouldn't, it's bad marketing, but you know me, the marketing genius. But I know what I'd like to see, and I know what you'd like to see, so we'll go ahead and do that, right? Yeah, good stuff. So I think I want to start just sort of easy. I'm glad Mark says, Monday. Because I think it's a good idea to just kind of reset and reframe and reapproach a little bit. For me, I want to reapproach the guitar today with, especially with this guitar I don't usually play. I'd like to start with fingers 2 and 4, or 3 and 4, and then arise on fingers 2 and 3, a night of the fretboard. Yeah. It's a great, and there are a couple of downloads. So if you're on the email newsletter, right? If you're on the newsletter, there are going to be some things that are only dispatched through that messaging platform. So I hope that you do decide to jump on the newsletter. And if you do download things, there's a double opt-in so that I don't want to spam people, right? So if you opt in, you have to at least one time agree, check your email. Be sure to follow up on your email and confirm your email and verify your email. Oh, Mark, you're taking off? Somebody, I don't know if somebody's referring to that Rick behind me, but... Oh, Rick, hey, good morning, that's Rick, that's his name. I'm looking, my glasses aren't really seeing the second viewport here that well. My only problem right now is choosing a guitar. Yeah, I wish that were the case, but the idea is that we all make these little sacrifices, these little concessions to get where we want to go. And I've found that I just like, it's a little different than when we were younger to build a guitar practice that is serious, to build a guitar practice that's serious. I have a K&K pickup in here, so you have the little dial for the volume right here, which is pretty cool, Velcro to the inside. This is before I realized I should have put a K&K in here, but it's there now, damage is done. And I don't use it live that way anymore, but if I ever want that K&K sound on a recording, studio recording, I do keep it sort of like intact. This is the guitar that I think I used on the Arabian Moon track on my 2013 Rebirth album release. So that, nice round sort of kind of scooped mid-range of the voice of this guitar. It's got a really fun guitar, especially for the finger picking series that's coming up. So we're going to have some fun with that. But more on fingers 2 and 3 and 4. All right, let's run some neck together. Let's run some neck. Let's get back down to business. And yeah, it's really simple. It's really pretty simple. We're just looking for 2 attacks per beat if you want, or 1 attack per beat. It all works. It all works. And we're using the time constraint of 30 minutes. That's going to give us enough time to get through everything that we need to get through to call ourselves a warmed up guitar practitioner. So that should give us a readiness pattern for the rest of the day where we become guitar, we practice. After we warm up, we do a passive warm up. I do a passive warm up every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I love to have your company. It's super simple and super easy. Just show up and we breathe together. We stretch together, and then we kind of grow together. If you're new here, you can stick around for a moment. I'm Jason, your host. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and this happens every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, where we get together, we run some neck together, and then you can kind of, get an idea of what's basically happening in the world of warming up for me. And then 1, 3, and 4. What you say, well, why me? Well, I don't know why me. I mean, I guess you could do it. You can do this with anyone or with no one at all. The first thing I like to do is recognize that the warm-up, I need to have the warm-up in my life, because even if I play all day, sometimes the world gets kind of wacky and zany. So what I like to feature a period of the morning, specifically the morning. I could care less about warming up in the afternoon or evening, because I'm not waking up with the guitar in hand that way. This way, I'm literally waking up with the guitar in hand. So I'm using fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm just going to walk through what I would normally do if not broadcasting. So I'm going to focus clearly on breath and my posture and good solid core strength. And I'm going to meditate on both my picking hand. I'm going to pay careful attention to my picking hand for a moment. I have my eyes closed, but I can still sort of see it with my eyes closed. Now I'm using this 4th finger stretch. And am I feeling any tension starting anywhere to persist in my body? And if I do, I use that breath to eradicate it. Let me fix my legs, because if my legs aren't both feet flat on the ground and square, my knees square, my ankles square, my legs square 45 degrees or whatever they are, I think it's hard to sit without any tension that persists in the body. So guitar posture is really important, specifically to relating to warm-up. And then I'm focusing on both the fret hand and the picking hand, working in concert to produce the guitar language. And one day, maybe I will get good at the guitar language. Now I'm using fingers stretch 1 and stretch 2, stretch 1 and stretch 4, focusing on that breath. One more. This is the last position right here. there's so much to work on with the guitar. So I'm happy that you're here with me today. I'm going to take a moment, just a brief moment, to do a stretch-a-rooney, and then we'll jump right back onto it. So if you're here for the duration today, if you are if you do possess a channel membership with a dedicated student, and I'm not saying anyone's not a dedicated student if you don't have it, but if you do, this is just a way to augment what we're doing together. So I am hosting the immediately following this session at 8 o'clock. I am hosting the dedicated student sort of like weekly debrief. So if you're interested, if you're here, I'm going to be there, just kind of talking through what I've been doing, why I'm doing it, where I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I've been doing, what I'm doing now, and what I'm going to do in the future. So it's a way to sort of like wrap my mind, just kind of talk my way through what it is we're doing here, specific to the morning ritual for guitar growth. So just happy to have you show up and just be part of it. So don't hesitate if you're available and if you're here. I know we have a lot of members that don't take that advantage yet, because it's not been really widely announced, but we'll work on getting that. We'll work on getting better at that. So I'll see some of you there, I'm sure. All right, Zumanji, good morning. Of course, good morning, Kevin, Mr. Kevin Haas. Mark, Kevin, Mark, let's see, who else is, Jill's in the house. Good morning, Jill. Good morning to you. And it looks like Rick, good morning again. Tyson, yeah, interesting questions here. Tattooed, good morning. Yeah, Slayer, right on. Got it. I love the band. Greenberry, let the guitar choose you. I love it. I love that. No, I'm not staying, Jason. I'm here on Monday's 3-day weekend. Oh yeah, right on. No, I'm staying. You are staying. Right on. Gotcha. Build your own. Good morning, Mr. McWenna enters the conversation. I always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. This could be a fun place for you to be. You never know. You're more than welcome to come back and stick around. Love to have your company. The last of its kind. Good morning. And Mr. Fish is here. Mr. M. Fish is here. Good morning. All right, so I've gotten to the bottom of it. The chromatic scale. The chromatic scale, that's a great suggestion, Mr. McWenna. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chromatic scale and then work our way through, because we're still focusing on 4 fingers at a time. And we haven't really covered the chromatic scale, even though we use pieces of it, and we warm up in the mornings in a chromatic style, although it's not, totally chromatic. Atonal, I don't know. It's just patternistic. And we have an updated system for charting too, so you'll be happy to know that most of what we're doing is going to find its way into your email box. So if you're not yet a member or a subscriber to the newsletter, the Neck Runners Dispatch, it's a free email. I don't spam. I don't use it as a way to bother you with things that you're not interested in. If you're interested, we have a posse that's specifically interested in fingerstyle, and they get that messaging. The jazzers get that messaging, we'll get that messaging. So we have it segmented pretty well, and we have a fairly substantial list that we communicate to, and then it's growing every day. And so there's something going on here that is working. And I'm not claiming to be any guitar savior or any sort of buddy. I'm not. I'm a person who has been a practitioner of the guitar for a long time. I've written some songs, award-winning songs, and I'm not going to get into that, but I have a statue of my person on the front of a local state university for some reason. I found it in many guitar programs and music programs, I guess, across the state. Changed brought a downtown back. I've done a lot of different kinds of things, and so whether you need to hear that in order to hear, to feel like there's some like street cred or social proof. I'm not really that great at banging that kind of drum. I've never been interested or drawn to that kind of thing. Saying that one person is better than the other, or, I'm not really into that kind of verbiage. What I am careful to observe is that we all have value. We all have value. And sometimes we forget that we have value, even me, right? I mean, you take a look at me and you're like, how does a guy like that forget that he has value? It happens. And we wake up and we look ourselves in the mirror and we're like, why do I even play the guitar? What is the point? We all go through these things, so it's not like because I've done certain things or because someone else has done certain other things that it makes someone more legitimate or less legitimate than the other person, right? Well, this person said something kind about me, you know what? So what? The next person said something derogatory about me. Well, so what? Who cares? But the idea is that we're bound to the guitar, and together we're bound to the guitar. We're not bound to searching around for anything other than how to spend time down with the guitar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the internet for the rest of my life and chase down what it is I want to be doing or what it is I should be doing on the guitar, and never actually do what I'm going to do on the guitar. What I'm intended to do, I'm going to let that internet suck the life right out of me, right? I'm going to let it kind of come and go, just chasing the dragon, and it will never come to pass. So that's literally what I'm doing. This is an effort to combat that kind of usage of the internet, or abusage of the internet. I think it's great. It's a great research tool, and I learn a ton from the internet. I've learned a ton from actual libraries where you walk in and you have to talk to the counter and talk to the circulation counter and the circulation desk and get to know those people. But the bottom line is, if you're going to be a guitar player, it's really that simple. Just sit down and play your guitar. It's not anything that I'm going to do for you. It's nothing that anyone else is going to do for you. Somehow you're going to go through these periods of time where you have growth, and these periods of time where you have moving sideways on the plateau, and then maybe you're even feeling like you're in decline. Happens to everyone, happens to anyone. And you ask anyone, any human living the life of the guitar practitioner, that's what's going on. So let's take a look, and that's enough of that. But it's super easy just to spend the time. You can do one thing. You can spend the time searching for what it is you're supposed to do and listen for all of the gurus on the internet, or you can just sit down and do something. Now, I've learned through hundreds and hundreds of miles of working on my feet, general mountaineering, general travel, general practice mountaineering, that activity is often the key, right? And observation is part of that activity. So I'm going to choose activity as the key instead of just kind of wondering about what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And am I going to feel the same way tomorrow? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lost in the fray, but I doubt it, because what you find when you show up for yourself and with your guitar time after time and time again, and you commit to it and you submit yourself to it, it's like faith. Faith kind of does this kind of thing, right, where it ebbs and flows inside of us, and eventually, hopefully, it becomes balanced, where we are able to be faithful servants. That's, I hope, what's going to happen for me anyway. Like that, the guitar is also an instrument of help, and it can be an instrument of hinder, and then you have to decide for yourself what to make of it, and it's for you to decide. It's not really for anyone else to decide, right? So let's just go ahead and talk, because we don't do this enough. Typically by now we'd be doing these we'd be doing these 1, 2, 3, 4, or the pentatonic systems, which are going to come back in place. But Raul mentioned something about the chromatic scale. And one way I like to to approach the chromatic scale on the guitar is just like Mick Goodrick does. We're four-fingered right now, and then the chromatic scale can be done with one finger. The E chromatic scale, it's neither major nor minor, it's chromatic. It includes all of the notes in equal temperament within the span of one octave. So it's not harmonic, it's not like tonic. It includes all of the half steps from the scale, right? So we're using fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. When I run out, when I've exhausted those fingers in the first position, it's simple, but it's really challenging to do. I'm going to look to the next position, being a 4-fingered guitar player. If I'm a 3-finger guitar player, then I look to the next position being position number 4, and then, but I'm a 4-fingered guitar player, so once those frets are spent, then I'm moving up to position number 5. And then position number 5 is an indication that I'm paying attention to where the first finger is living. Yeah. Position number 9 is the next available note in the chromatic sequence, so we'll go ahead and start here, right? So position 9, 5, and then 1. These are hard to do because we've got to transition from one position to the next. If you were listening to this with your eyes closed, if you were honestly listening to this with your eyes closed, try it out. Can you tell where I'm changing the position? And if you can, then I'm not doing my job. If you can't, then job is done, right? And so we can do that on B string. It's a little harder when we use legato tones. We've got to not drag from one position to the next. We have to quickly get there, but not kind of, unless we want to have that slur be part of our technique. So those are great scales to practice to get familiar with some landmarks on the guitar neck. We'll talk more about that. I really appreciate you raising that question, Raul, or that comment and that suggestion. That's wonderfully insightful. And so we've reached the top of the hour. Yeah, the chromatic scale is my kind of fun. Starting on the E bass string, going up to, I don't know what is the 17th fret on the high string. 17th fret is an A. There he is. 5 plus 12, that's right. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Join Jason in the members chat after the end of this session until tomorrow. I was answering to, yeah, excellent, excellent. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks. I hope you all have a nice Monday, and I hope that you all survive this incoming storm if you're going to be affected or in the middle of it. So it's really a great time to be alive, and I hope to see you all again, like our great host, live chat host Kevin Haas has remarked. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you again tomorrow for this free morning ritual for guitar growth. And yeah, until we meet again, I wish you, well, tomorrow, let me say it this way, tomorrow we'll run some neck together, and until we meet again, I wish you happy picking. Thanks again.